Hello there, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Drop Spot. It's great to see you here on top of Mount Olympus with me. It's Adam Savage here, talking all things Fortnite competitive. My oh my, what a weekend we had. FNCS Grand Finals done and dusted. It was brilliant. We're going to break it all down for you. I feel a warmth on my skin. I feel the wind through my hair here. I feel like I'm on the wings of Icarus. Do you know what it is? I'm on top of the world because I'm joined by Mini Miner and Kelly Link. They're here on the show too. You guys were there. It's so good to see your faces. I love you both dearly, and you were both there on the broadcast. Mini on EU, Kelly, you were on the NA side of things. Kick us off here, Mini. What was it like being there, being part of the action on the main broadcast for the EU Grand Finals?
Yeah, it was great. It was always, it's always great, right? EU is always a fun region to watch. I'm always hyped to see what's going to go on. And this season in particular, I thought was really interesting. And we didn't have one team that were just set to win it all like some other regions out there. I'm not going to name any names, but we had a kind of a mixed bag as to who actually could win. We kind of had like maybe 10 teams that could actually win. So obviously Swizzy and Vanyak ended up coming out on top. And it was one of those where I don't think anyone would have had them as their winner. I think a lot of people would have had them in their top 5, maybe top 10, but nobody has them as number 1. So it's always nice to see when those sort of things happen. But yeah, it was great as always, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was a great switch up to see someone different take it home. And I mean, Kelly, we had a theory as to we think might have gone all the way, and they were so dominant. NA, I mean, walk us through what was it like?
Yeah, I feel called out by Mini Miner right now. And yeah, as soon as the season started with all the Cash Cup wins, Peterborough and Pollo literally won all 6 Cash Cups. And then they got 6 out of 6 victory royales for one of those Cash Cups. It was absolute domination. And we all knew that that was going to be happening in the qualifiers. They did a great job, although they didn't perform as insanely as everyone thought. And then the semifinals happened. Everyone's like, look, they're falling. It's over. This is their run. And then once they kind of got serious, they got their victory royale to qualify, and then of course the grand finals. It was an absolute stomp, and it wasn't just how well Peterborough and Pollo did, it was all of the records they broke. They literally got over 1,000 points. It was so funny listening to Zeke while we were watching the show, because it literally went from like 980 points to 1K, and he was like, they broke it, they broke the game. And yeah, it pretty much Peterborough and Pollo broke the game.
It has just been their season. They've done incredibly well, and we're going to go through those stats too because they are mad impressive. By the way, for you guys, wherever you're watching from around the world or listening in, we've got loads to break down for you. The main focal points on tonight's show are going to be FNCS Major 2 Grand Finals recap. Of course, we're going to break it all down for you. Wrapping up the end of the season 2, Chapter 5, Season 2 has been absolutely electric. That wasn't an intended lightning bolt pun there, but it just came out naturally. It just came out. Just came at me. Then also we have our quiz, guys. We have a quiz. I mean, come on. We're all here for that, really. Let's be honest, Mini. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, I used to get really excited for the quiz because I had a 100% record, 0 losses. I think I was on like a 4-win streak. And then last time I was on the show, Takata beat me out, and I think he actually I think he got every single question right. So
Ooh.
I didn't have a chance at all. I'm gonna say it was luck, and I'm gonna try and pick myself up again and be like, yeah, let's try and win today. But it's gonna be tough.
No, Takata's a sleeper. You really have to like expect the unexpected out of him. But for me, I'm terrible, so you're going to be fine. You're going to get that winning streak back up again.
I mean, Takata did absolutely Peter Bottom Poyo you there, Mini, last time round.
Yeah,
just wrecked you there. But Kelly, I've got faith. I mean, this is going to be a battle. I mean, this season's all about the myths, mortals, whatnot. You guys, two kind of omnipotent beings going head to head in this quiz. It's going to be something no one wants to miss. It's going to be huge.
Yeah,
right.
I'm excited.
Before we get to this quiz, let's break it all down. FNCS Grand Finals. Let's kick things off. Let's talk about EU first and foremost, guys. We alluded to it at the front there with Mini, but Swizzy and Vanyak, they weren't big favorites in this competition. How did they manage? I mean, Mini, what was it they did to ensure the Victory Royale walk away with the active champions? What was it specifically that got them to the top spot?
Well, there was a few different things. There was a few different things that they employed, a few different strategies. I think the main thing that they did really well, better than the rest of the region, were using the wings of Icarus. And those are something that I think a lot of teams didn't take advantage of for the majority of the season. They kind of became the meta, especially in EU, FNCS Grands. It seemed like every single team had them. And this team, they land at Brawler's Battleground. And because the Chains of Hades got removed a couple of days before Grand Finals, it kind of buffed their drop spot almost, because it buffed the spawn rate of the wings. It basically just meant that they either had the chance of getting the wings or the lightning bolts out of those chests that they have there. So they pretty much had 2 wings every single game, combined with the fact that they were solo clutching incredibly well as well. I know on day 2, I think Vanyak had 2 solo clutches and Swizzy had 1 solo clutch. So the amount of points that they each gained individually was absolutely incredible. And you need that, especially in this type of meta. You really need the individuals to shine. And I think we saw the best of that over the weekend, it combined with all their strategies before. So this is a team that, yeah, as we talked about, they were definitely a sort of sleeper team. Not many people had them as their number 1 winner, but they actually dominated all weekend.
Yeah, they did. They were sublime. I mean, 888 points total,
Yeah.
all the 8s. I mean, they won by 251 points here, Kelly. And I think that's a really good point as well, is you need to have those individual performances within that duo to really get yourself to the Act of Champions, as mentioned there. And they did it with aplomb.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of what I think makes an incredible player in Fortnite. Not necessarily is what you do right when the stars align for you. It's what you can do when everything goes wrong. These players that are able to, once their teammate goes down, survive through the end game, which I don't know how they're able to do it. A lot of it comes down to the fizz and just staying away from everyone else kind of in the middle ground. And Vanyak's duo definitely did a great job of that.
Do you think as well, like Minnie, do you think this is the greatest performance we've seen since like Queasy and Venno in Chapter 4 Season 2? Do you think this is kind of like second to that now in terms of like a dominance in a grand finals?
I think it's definitely up there. I think Swizzy and Putrick winning in Chapter 4, Season 3, I believe it was, they did incredibly well that season as well. They had some really, really great strategies. I mean, Swizzy has now won on both Asia and EU, so it seems to be just dominant across different regions.
Is it just him and Muzz that are now cross-region champs?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is, and that's such an impressive task. I mean, Muzz, of course, came over from OCE, then dominated on NA for a couple of seasons. Really, really great to watch. But for someone to come over from a different region to EU, which is typically known as like the hardest region, the biggest region, we've had players from OCE. I think it was Vortex and I think it was Suns and Vortex who came over to EU. They left the season after. Yeah. They said, "Well, it's not for us. Like we're out." I don't even think they made it out of semi-finals because it shows how tough the region really is. So yeah, I think Swizzy's done an absolute masterclass over the course of the time being in the region, and it should not be understated how incredible he's done.
Yeah, I think it puts you in good stead as well if you're the likes of global finals, when you have got this kind of like melting pot of these different regions coming together. And if you've won it on multiple, Asia, EU, it puts you in good stead. Puts you in real good stead for what's coming your way. A couple of stats as well here. Ranked first and second for Damage Dell. Obviously, Swizzy, a 3-time FNCS champion. They are a really impressive duo, and congratulations again to them both for doing such wonderful work at the weekend. But another duo as well, Chap and Teeny here. They're known for their sneaky tactics, aren't they, Minnie?
Yeah, Teeny in particular is known for that. I know last year, I know when he was playing with Misha, they sort of qualified, I think it was Major 3 as well, through to the Global Championships just by like sneaking around and landing at different drop spots. Because if you don't know, players have their drop spots, they have their loot pass, they say, right, we're going to land here, then we're going to go to that building. And Teeny and Misha often went to that building and just sat in there while all the loot was still in there. And the team thought, yeah, we're just going to go on here. This is our usual loot path. Game 8 of Grand Finals, it'll all be there. And then boom. There's Teeny and Misha. So they kind of employed a little bit of that. But I think this duo, what I was really impressed with was Chap. It was his first grand final, so there's a lot of question marks about how he was going to do. But their ability to win fights, their fragging ability throughout the whole season really was absolutely brilliant. And they kind of carried that into the grand finals. And honestly, Chap didn't show any signs of nerves at all, which is really nice to see from a player that hasn't had that experience. And Teeny used all of his experience to carry them through the difficult moments as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're spot on there. I think with other teams, Kelly, as well. I think that I know we've got tons to talk about with NA as well, but teams like Seti and Kami, Vidil and Reason, and Alex and Sato, these are teams as well who have managed to kind of catapult themselves from day 1 to day 2. Obviously, it's a 2-day event. Mentioned the 1.5 kind of like X points and such as well. To do that in this kind of environment is so essential. If you want to get yourself up towards the top, you have to perform one of those days. If you have a bad day 1, day 2 is so vital.
Yeah, I maybe you can speak to this, Mini Minor, but there was a team that was in EU 45th place, and then they jumped up into top 10.
Yeah, that was Anderlecht and Sato. They were 46th after day one. And you mentioned it earlier, Kelly, the 1.5x points. That definitely benefited them. But I think actually, if you're looking at the sort of the session of day two, they won the whole day on day two. They actually came first place, which obviously helped them move up in the leaderboard overall. And they were a team that I think a lot of people had not too much thoughts about going into the season. I know some people would have predicted them to do quite well. But again, it's a similar situation to where they just fixed their issues in day number two. And that's what this format, that's what this type of that's what this type of event can bring. You don't have to just dominate on day one and then dominate on day two to win. You can have these pop-off moments either day, and definitely day two is the time to do that. And they chose a good time to pop off, I'm sure.
Yeah, looking into the meta as well quickly. I mean, Seti and Kami tanking Storm. I think Thomas HD spent 58 minutes in total here. Kelly, I guess you have to employ these different tactics as well to ensure that you get yourself, again, the maximum amount of points. Let's not forget, not just coming first, but everyone's playing as well to try and qualify for those top spots for global finals. So you have to, I guess, you have to work with what you have, the tools you have, to do that. And I think it seems like the meta with Storm played an important part in this too.
Yeah, everyone was staying in Storm, and I think a lot of that was due to the fact that Storm sickness wasn't as big of an issue at the end game because it wasn't going down to a heal off anymore. So I think people were allowing themselves to stay in Storm. Most of it was to get bunkers, to get extra loot, to get that weapon modification bench, and then obviously to just loot up anything they can because so many people had issues with Storm Surge and builds, and that was mostly for North America. Again, I don't know if that was an issue for Europe as much, but staying in the Storm isn't that damaging when you have a med kit that you can walk and, heal yourself up with, or you have the banana, or even just bandages. Anything can really heal you in Storm, especially if it's the first few zones. It's not going to do that much damage to you.
That's right. Let's talk about damage. A duo NA that have just been causing a storm of their own. Peterbot and Poyo, Kelly. I mean, walk us through. I mean, they basically won everything this season. They've been unstoppable. Yeah. What do they do so right this time around? How do they make sure to continue dominating into grand finals weekend?
Let me set the stage. Peterbot and Poyo are both champions in their own right before they even teamed up together. And then a lot of people were so surprised of how they performed this major. They got second place in Major 1. So this didn't come out of nowhere. They have been incredible players for a very long time, but obviously joined up together. They are such a dominant duo. And a lot of the argument will be their drop spot over in Grim Gate. Don't get me wrong. Many, many players try to contest them over in Grim Gate, even the reigning champs of Acorn and Cold. But they essentially got bullied out of it by Peterbot and Poyo because they had that drop spot downloaded. And then with the aspect of agility, which gives you dashes, just complements their playstyle, this very W key aggro playstyle, so well. They also get that Mythic Gatekeeper shotgun, which just does so much damage. But it wasn't just that. It was their prioritization of all of the objectives. They were able to go for the Forecast Tower or bunkers or even Rift Island. And then, because of how dominant they've been through the Cash Cups, they literally won every single one this season. Everyone pretty much avoided high ground. They were so conditioned. That's the word that everyone's used. The lobby was so conditioned to not even look up for high ground that Peterbot and Poyo could hold it from two different positions. There was a game I was watching from Cash Cup a few weeks ago where they are literally split holding height and no one is challenging them. It is, I don't know, the last time I think I saw a team dominate like this so heavily for so long was back when Epic Whale, Rex, and Arkram were a trio for NA West, and they won several. I mean, that's why the 6X is on Epic Whale's name. They literally controlled NA West for a year and a half. But another duo that did incredibly well that I'm proud about is Reet and Ritual from NA West. This duo here have been so impressive to me. A lot of people actually thought that they were going to win last major, but they didn't have the best performance. But they definitely showed up this major, getting that second place. I am so proud of them. Anytime an NA West team comes through, I gotta promote them.
I love those guys.
Yeah,
they're a great team. I think a lot of people had their questions about Ritual and Reet and being like, should they stick together? Should they be a duo? Reet's experience, I know Ritual's quite an underrated player, right? Hasn't quite got the same experience as Reet, so I think a lot of people are like, oh, why are they still playing together? And from what I've heard, Reet really, really rates Ritual. He thinks he's a fantastic player and thinks that they're really a good fit, and clearly it's working out. And that just shows, sticking together as a duo, making sure that you can build these strategies, this chemistry, this understanding of how each other play. It's so crucial. I like seeing teams like that do well because I like to see teams have that long-term partnership.
100%. We actually saw, again, what you were saying. A lot of people give like Reet the big ups. He's the WP king. Ritual was actually coming out in almost every game with more eliminations, and
Wow.
two of them together. Just how Reet used to be such an aggressive player to a fault, where he would go in too hard and then it would like end up as a disaster for him. He has become such a calmer, more consistent player. It's just worked out so well for them as a duo, and I'm so glad it's finally paid off now that they got their ticket to the global championships. I'm so happy.
I know that cohesiveness for a partnership it's so imperative. Like it's so imperative indeed. I think that's why you have the teams that we've championed, because we love to see them. They have that cohesiveness, which is unmatched. What everyone dreams to find in a duo partner, to have that kind of glue and ensure that you do big things come when it counts. Obviously, let's talk about other regions very quickly as well here. We saw obviously multiple regions going on here. Tinker and Dana both got their first FNCS titles on OCE in Asia. Repulsgod and Michael led by over 100 points on day one, kept it up to win overall. I mean, Middle East, that we saw Adapter and FKS. With these other teams, do you think they're always, Minnie, kind of looking around at what's happening on other regions around the world, kind of always getting themselves into a mindset of what they can expect come global finals? Do you think they're kind of focusing more on what they're doing now, or are they already looking ahead to what's to come September?
I think now that those teams have qualified to global championships, I think they definitely will be thinking about that. And I mean, thinking about like meta and stuff, other regions look at players in the Asia region, for example, for interesting new strats. There was a tweet that Zagu made a couple of weeks ago using some interesting tech with the lightning bolt, and he would use it to actually break down bills like right above him as he's picking up another item, so he can kind of destroy bills right above, drop them into his box, and take them down. I didn't see him use that in game. I need to go back and check some of the VODs because that was a really interesting bit of tech for this season. And I think it's kind of like an interesting thing for global championships as well, because you never know what these different regions have been cooking in their strategies. And we did see it last globals as well, I think from Zagu again, using some interesting sort of storm surge healing strategies that are always nice to see. So I think, yes, they're going to be looking at all the other regions like EU and NA, some of the bigger regions, but also the other regions have to be looking at them as well, because you never know what they can pull out of that.
I think even regions within regions, and I know that for EU, it was all about Swizzy using the wings of Icarus, but in NA, it was actually Bugha's team that was using that from day one, and then by day two, everyone was using them. Obviously, it's a mobility item. Why would you not use it? Especially with the new tech that came through where you could place a top up above and then bounce off of it. I think, though, from your question, Adam, that yes, a lot of players are going to be looking and practicing, but it's Fortnite. So who knows where this game is going to be in a few months? The meta could be completely different with new weapons, and who knows what's coming in the next season, right? So there's only so much that they can do to prepare for the global championships right now.
Indeed. I mean, this is Major 3 is going to be a last opportunity to qualify for those global championships. And they are coming thick and fast here. They're only, it kicks off very, very soon. For you guys as well, though, who are interested in being there in person, you can be in Fort Worth, Texas. I mean, fn.gg/tickets. That is the place that you can find out loads more about how you can get tickets and ensure you go and be there in the flesh. Kelly, Minnie, I want to see you guys. I want to go full on Texan here. I want to see you riding in horseback, saddled up. Minnie, I can definitely see you in a cowboy hat. Rhinestones too.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely going to be something that I don't know too much about Texas actually, so I need to do a bit of research. So I need to look into the different types of foods and stuff that I need to be looking out for, and the different attire. If there's a different etiquette about how you greet people. I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
You gotta say howdy, y'all. That's it. And as soon as you step into Texas, howdy, y'all.
Howdy,
eat a bunch
y'all.
of steak.
Howdy.
Get your denim jacket with all the tassels and everything. Oh, I'm ready. Hopefully
Yes.
they let me. Usually we only have so much options of what we can wear on stage. So hopefully they let me wear some cool stuff. I would love that.
I mean, Zeke will
I
bring
think-
about 47 denim jackets, so I think I'll be able to borrow one of those. It should be all
Oh,
right.
Zeke's got it locked down. He doesn't even
He
doesn't even
does.
go shopping. The wardrobe is there and it's ready to roll. Isn't it a bit, Kelly? Isn't it right me saying how are y'all doing? Isn't
Yeah,
that a
all
thing?
y'all.
How are
Yeah.
y'all? Okay.
Yeah, all y'all. Because when you say y'all, that could be one person, it could be a group of 3 people. But when you say all y'all, that is in reference to everyone around.
Okay.
Any which way, you could be there listening to all of us try and do these terrible accents and be there in person. Obviously, global finals around the corner. Make sure you check it out and you can find out exactly how you can be there too. Guys, I'm really excited for this
Oh,
because
no.
it's quiz time. Dun dun dun. We definitely need theme music. I think that's definitely a thing we should think about for the next season, Chapter 5, Season 3. For you guys at home, if you've not seen the quiz before or listened to this before, ultimately we put our two guests here to the test. They go head to head. It's multiple choice, and if we have after their 2 questions each a tie, we go to a tiebreaker. Or we just do it for funsies anyway. Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, the last time we did a quiz, you went all the way 2-2 with Jacob, wasn't it? Like, and went the distance?
It was. Wow, good memory. Yeah, and I'm sure people don't believe me, but it's one of those things where you had to write down the number on a piece of paper and to prove it. And initially, I wrote like one number off, and then I was like, I can't be that. And then I like doubled it, and so Jacob won. So I was very close to winning, but yeah, Jacob came out the.
You were exceptionally close to winning, and I think this time around as well. Minnie, it's going to be a battle because Kelly is ready. I can feel this. It's going to be. It's
I get
going
a
to
little
be
crazy. I'm sorry.
She gets crazy.
Okay. All right.
Like we'll lose marbles. Trust me. Right, Kelly, you're going to kick us off. You've got the first question here, and you
Ooh.
guys, of course, at home can play along as well. By all means, make sure to get that kind of done too, because it's always fun when you guys can have some fun with us. Right, question 1 for Kelly. Here we go. Okay, how many places did Anderlecht and Seitu move up on day 2? How many places did they move up on day 2? Was it 31, 36, or 41?
41. No, wait.
Whoa,
We were
whoa,
just
okay,
talking
relax.
about this, weren't we?
Relax.
B.
What do you think? B?
Yes.
Minnie, you're locking that in, Kelly, as well?
Yes.
What was B? 36.
36. So, Minnie, what would I think Minnie knows. There's a smirk there.
I know.
Minnie.
I know.
What would,
It's
okay.
it's 41
Ah!
because they were in 46th.
And
and
they
they
went up to-
placed
we literally just talked about
fifth.
this. I
I
doubted
was going to say because
myself.
when you said 41, I was like, well, this is cheating because we just talked
we
about
just
this.
talked about. I don't.
But you got it wrong. Oh,
Okay.
He's not wrong, Kelly. He's not wrong. He's obviously I bet you somewhere he's got like a little notebook, like a pad that he's been making notes on, doing his research.
yeah.
That's
I have a
classic.
big whiteboard there that I write down all of the stats about everything. You know, me and
Classic
Kim should
Minnie
work on
Miner.
it. Yeah.
Classic. Okay. Unlucky, Kelly. It was 41, and again 46th to 5th. Enormous margin they've made up there. Okay. So it's currently 0-0 still, but Mini Miner, you have got a question here to take a 1-0 lead. Let's look at this one. Mini Miner. How many of the 6 FNCS winners were not leading after day 1? How many of the 6 FNCS winners were not leading after day 1? Was it 0? Was it 2? Or was it 4?
That is a difficult one because I have no idea. I know obviously NA and EU were very much dominated by one team. I think OCE. I think OCE had a team that I think Alex and Worthy did pretty good on day 1, but I could be wrong. So with that in mind, I'm going to say B2 because I don't know the others. I couldn't tell you. So I'm just going to have a guess at 2.
Locking in 2, final
Locking
answer.
in 2, final answer.
Kelly, out of curiosity, where would you have leaned?
I was leaning towards 2 as well.
Well, you would have been leaning correctly. It was 2. It was 2.
It was a guess.
It was actually regions were Middle East and Brazil. They were the 2
Oh, it
regions
wasn't even OCE,
where
nice one.
no, it wasn't. But I mean, good logic, but
Yeah,
completely misguided.
completely
yeah.
wrong. I got lucky.
Completely wrong.
Yeah.
Kelly, if it somehow turns out after this next question that Mini One is in the lead, we'll use that against him
Okay,
and
good,
force the
good.
tiebreaker.
Thank you.
We'll figure it out. Okay. Question 2 for Kelly. Here we go, Kelly. Peterbot did 18,921 damage during the grand finals. Not including himself, how many NA duos did more damage than just him? Was it 0, 1, or 2? Read it one more
0.
time. Do I need
That
to
was
read
quick.
it? That was
0.
so fast.
That was
Okay.
barely read out the options.
So just to recap, Peterbot did 18,921 damage during the grand finals, not including himself. How many NA duos did more damage than him? The answers were either 0, 1, or 2. And you are saying?
I'm saying 0. I know Reet and Ritual did a lot of damage, but there was a stat where Peterbot had more eliminations than any other duo combined. And I know that was after day 1. And I know in day 2, Reet and Ritual did a lot better. Acorn and Cole did a lot better. I'm still just going to say 0.
Would you have said anything different, Minnie? Out of curiosity?
I think I would have said 2, just because I feel like,
Okay.
I mean, any of those are crazy. I mean, Peterbot doing more damage than most teams is unbelievable. So yeah, I feel like there has to be at least one team, but yeah, he can't count out Peterbot. So I don't. Yeah, if I was gonna guess, I'd say 2, but that's completely random.
Well, one of you is correct.
Oh, it's many.
It was Kelly. It was
Wow!
0.
Wow! Yes! Okay,
No
good. I'm
other
so glad
teams.
that I was confident about it.
Other teams, no other
That's
duos did
incredible.
more damage than that one player. That
Yeah.
is extraordinary.
Wow.
On NA, which is one of the most competitive regions there is. Just incredible work from Peterbot there. Right, so it's 1-1, but Minnie does have the second question to wrap this up at 2-1. Okay.
Just throw
Here we
it,
go.
Minnie, just throw it so we can make it more exciting.
Throw it, Minnie. Throw it. Okay, ready, here we go. Right, Minnie Minor. How many more players will qualify for Globals in Major 3? How many more players will qualify for Globals in Major 3? Is it 56? Is it 62? Or is it 68? How many more players will qualify for Globals in Major 3?
Should have thrown an odd number in there just to see if he was paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So we had 2 on EU and then 1 on each of the other regions. So that's 7, Geo's 14, 5, so that's 10, 24.
So you're full on maths here.
Full on maths, got to be done. Top
Love it.
3 on NA is 6, so that's 30.
Oh, what about the
And then the other regions, there's 4 other regions, 38. 100 minus 38 is 62. Was that one of the options?
Yes, it was one of the options.
It was
56,
Okay, good.
62,
That would have been
or
quite
68.
funny.
That would have been
Well,
really
that
embarrassing.
would have been really bad, wouldn't it?
Thank goodness that didn't happen.
No,
Yeah, 56, 62, or 68.
Well, I'm going to go 62 because I think that's correct. But, my maths, I haven't done maths in a very long time. So, yeah, I think we'll just go with that, hopefully.
Kelly, I mean, he's done the maths. He's done the work there. Whether or not it's correct or not, we'll find out in a second. Would you have gone with 62 or elsewhere?
I'm going to say yes, so I don't have to redo the math in my head.
Good answer. I can't for in a quiz drop spot kind of like miraculous first time ever. Maths on broadcast has paid dividends because it was 62.
Wow.
Mini minor,
Well done.
you striking human. Wow, that was impressive.
I was lucky because if I got that wrong, then I would have used the excuse that I threw on purpose. So it was
of
a win-win
course, of
situation.
course.
You know what I mean? If I got the maths wrong, I'd be like, well, I just we got to the tiebreaker.
Just like we're going to use the excuse that you kind of messed up that previous answer.
Yeah,
and
the
therefore
first
that's
one was
why
a
we're
bit,
having to go to a tiebreaker.
We'll go to
Okay,
it.
so it's a tiebreaker question. Right. Okay. So here's a tiebreaker question, and you guys, again, this is a fun one. So this is going to be interesting. So the question is for a tiebreaker here, and it's the closest answer to the actual answer wins. How much full damage was there during grand finals in total?
Oh, there's just,
How much full damage was there during grand finals in total
out of all the regions?
out of all the regions together?
Oh,
How
wow.
much full damage?
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to give you a ballpark here so we don't completely go off the
I think
rails?
if we're miles off, give us a ballpark. How about that?
Okay.
Because it might be quite funny if we're like miles off.
Yeah.
Do you want to give the answer?
because
Should we write it down?
you can. Yes, you can. Kelly, I'm going to ask for your answer first, though, as Minnie went in with a 2-1,
that's true.
technically
Mm-hmm.
leading to things.
All right, then I'll
But,
just say it. I'm going to say 8,725.
That's a lot. That
It is a lot. It's a
That's
lot,
a lot
but
of
it's
fall
12.
damage.
It's 12 games, so for
12
each
games.
region,
Okay.
which
Okay.
is
So
72 games
8,000.
total.
So 8,000. What was it, Kelly? 8,000. Did you
Oh,
say
but then
700?
no, there's fizz, so no one takes fall damage anymore. Yeah, screw it. I don't care. Let's just go with that number.
8,725. Is
Yes.
that what you said? Okay.
Yes.
Minnie, what would you have said?
My initial thought was a lot lower. Mine was 2,000. So just say 2,000.
Right. So just so you both know, you're both quite far off. It's between it's between 10,000 and 40,000.
What?
So that means I win,
Yeah.
right? Price is Right rules.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, okay. So technically,
Technically.
this is getting really
There's a lot of
complicated.
technicalities in this quiz here.
I
This
need
is,
an abacus and a calculator and a therapist. I don't know where to go from here. Okay, so so it's between 10,000 and 40,000. So guess
Right.
number 2 quickly, Kelly. What would you say?
23,500.
Okay, Minnie.
33,500.
Okay. Well, one of you's extraordinarily close. One of you's a bit closer. The correct answer was 25,624.
Let's go. I'll take it.
So
I lost, but I'll take it.
Kelly Link. Wow, that is an average of 43 per player, by the way.
Really?
But 25,624 fall damage. That is extraordinary. But hey,
Wow.
that was fun. And you guys at home, I don't know how close you got, but that was a lot more than I thought. Way more.
What's everyone doing?
Having a nightmare.
How are they taking that much fall damage?
Absolute nightmares all around there. But they see Peterbot and Puyo coming, and everyone just can't believe what they're seeing, and it just falls off. Big structures, builds, whatever it might be, in awe of what they're doing out there. But thanks you guys at home for playing. You enjoyed it, and to you too as well, Minnie, Kelly. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Well played,
That was
well
very,
played.
very good. As we look ahead now, obviously Chapter 5, Season 3 is on the horizon. Let's just take a moment to really kind of appreciate what has been a great chapter season for us as well here. Obviously, Chapter 5, Season 2, favorite POI. I'm going to have some quick fire questions here. Minnie, kick us off. Favorite POI. What was yours?
For me, I think it's Grimgate. I think it's kind of like the one that everyone would probably say for this question. It's just it's just a cool POI. It had the craziest loot all season that a lot of teams were fighting over, and it creates so many cool storylines. So there's more than just I like the POI myself. It's more just about how there was so much speculation who's going to land there. Even on EU, it wasn't quite as dominant, but it was still it was a storyline in itself, which made it probably one of the coolest POIs we've had in a long time.
Yeah, initially I was playing Grimgate just to kind of learn it because obviously everyone is prioritizing it, and then I kept finding myself going back there because it is just such a POI. I love the River of Styx giving you those dashes so that you have much more mobility in a very low mobility season. But one caveat, I wish Cerberus was actually a giant 3-headed dog instead of a dog man. That's my only complaint.
That would have been great, wouldn't it? I would have loved that. A 3-headed outfit. That would have been great. Cerberus would have been cool, 3 heads. Okay. That's very POI. Let's talk very quickly about on the flip side. Let's talk about items, weapons, why that were in this season. Again, Minnie, kick us off.
I'm going to stick with the Grimgate theme. I'm going to say Gatekeeper shotgun. I like that shotgun. It was cool. It was definitely difficult to get used to. At the beginning, I was like, nah, I'm not taking this. It hasn't got enough shots. It only has 3. If you don't have the drum mag on it, I think that was just me being bad at the game because clearly everyone's using it, everyone's loving it, and I now love it because it's just got such good range. It's one of those shotguns where if you have it against someone with an auto or something, you have the upper hand in certain situations. So that's my favorite weapon this season to use.
Obviously, I'm not playing on the competitive level that everyone else is, but I was using the Wings of Icarus from day one. I thought they were really cool. I love that the more you use them, the wings started to melt away, so I had a little bit of the mythological lore of Icarus melting in the sun from wax wings. But also, shout-outs to Banana, a close second.
Yeah.
That was definitely a good item. It was just funny, and also it gave you health, so that's cool.
That is cool. They're good. I mean, I liked, for me personally, the Chain of Hades. I did some damage out there. I really did. I kind of like the melee kind of weaponry as well. But shout out to the Gatekeeper shotgun as well there for a second because the battle pass this season, I've done some serious work with the Gatekeeper. It's been good. It's got to be that much needed XP to level things up. Okay, so next season in terms of map and meta, what are you hoping to see? Kelly, I'll start with you here. What are you hoping to see next season? What do you want to see, courtesy of Chapter 5, Chapter 5, Season 3?
So I was on this show at the start of this season, and we got to talk about how much I love mythology and how excited I was with Olympus and everything joining. I would love for other mythologies to join in on it. There's so many incredible ones with Egyptian, with Norse. There's so many more. So I think that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
That would
yeah.
be cool. That would be cool.
For me, I'm trying to think. What would I like to see? This is a really interesting chapter of the season. It was very different to the first season. I think I'd like to see a mobility item like we saw in season 1. The grapple blade, that was really, really cool. I was a fan of that. Although we did have the wings, I think it was kind of caught on quite late during the season. And I personally never used the wings in tournaments, and I kind of regret it now because I see how good they are. So yeah, maybe just like one like clear-cut mobility item that you can use. I'd like to see that, but who knows?
I've got. I don't know why I've got this kind of hunch, but I think planes might come back. I think there'd be some kind of aerial something around. I don't know why I think this. This is pure speculation, by the way. I just feel like we haven't seen that for a while. It could be a thing. Maybe the lack of mobility that will be kind of like amped up to the max for the next season. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, and lastly, if you were both in charge of designing a new medallion for next season, what would that medallion do? That's a good one. Mini, what would your medallion do? What would a mini medallion do? A Mindallion.
A Mindallion. Yes, I like that. We could call it the Mindallion.
Does it make you tiny?
Or something else.
Your hitbox gets smaller?
Well, yeah, you could make it good. Or on the flip side, you could make it quite annoying to have it. So that when you pick up the medallion or when it goes onto you, everyone else in the lobby gets unlimited underworld dashes, but you. So it's like the Grimgate coin flipped, right? And it's kind of, you don't want it. So it kind of automatically attaches to the nearest team that it's in its proximity. Ooh. So I think that, imagine if there was like a sort of bogey area, like you don't want to go that area because there's the medallion that nobody wants. And then everyone else is hoping that the person picks it up. So they get dashes. I don't know. It's a bit dumb.
I like it. I think, hey, the mini medallion. Kelly, what's yours?
It definitely would be this. You get the coin, but you can only use it once. It's like an ultimate attack, and it's a giant boogie bomb. A boogie bomb with like 10x the size, so everyone starts dancing.
I love that. I love that. Mine would be you get a medallion that gives you a 1-up basically. So you can use it as like an extra lifeline. You don't get rebooted, but you can get back into. You can just basically replummet back into the game. That would be cool.
That would have one use as well. Like you get one chance at it.
One chance.
And there's only one. We're giving Epic some good ideas here.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way I can kind of patent that idea, but it's a good one. Hey, it's out there. It's out in the ether now. But folks, it's going to be great. It's coming your way. Chapter 5, Season 3 is on the horizon. The new season starts very, very soon, and that will bring tons more tournaments, tons more opportunities to get involved with all things Fortnite and Fortnite competitive. And FNCS is only a few weeks away as well. You got to get practicing at home, guys. Get practicing. It's right around the corner. This has been really fun. It's been such a great season, hasn't it? It's been such a superb season. I think we've kind of all agreed that we've thoroughly enjoyed it. But as with all things Fortnite, we know that the next one is right around the corner. Minnie, it's been a blast having you here. Kelly, I've loved it. Tell us where we can find you both online. Minnie, kick us off. Where can we find you out there in the internetverse?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on. As always, a absolute blast. You can find me on all socials at just MiniMinerYT. Quite straightforward.
Yeah, and you guys can find me on social media at HelloKellyLink. I don't use it very much, so if you want to find me, you should just watch the FNCS. That's where you'll see me.
You should definitely do that. As we said, we're trying to re-emphasize it. It is coming your way. And of course, if you want to be there at Global Finals, you can. We mentioned it earlier on, but again, tickets are available. fn.gg/tickets. Go and check it out. You could be there in Fort Worth, Texas, and see these two doing those accents and wearing cowboy bits and pieces. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a real spectacle. You don't want to miss it. Thank you very much for listening, for watching the Drop Spot. We'll see you very soon out in the battle bus. Then take care. Bye-bye for now.